So the past few months, at least on our end, things have quieted down a little bit in terms of interest in buying real estate in Thailand. Now, is this part of just a natural process of peak and trough in the market, or is Thailand's real estate market withering away like this plant that I literally just stole downstairs in the lobby just to decorate this corner for this video? So why conjecture when you can look at data? And that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. So we're going to look at property transaction numbers nationwide, and that is provided by Thailand's Real Estate Information Center. Thank you so much. ขอบคุณมากครับ. And we're also going to look at the purchase behavior of Thai property buyers. This was a survey by the Siam Commercial Bank Economic Intelligence Center. That's one of the major banks in Thailand. So that's a big deal. Now, why care about this data? Well, what I can think of is a soft market, if this data indicates that, could be a good opportunity for people looking to buy for long-term living, as they could potentially negotiate for lower prices. On the flip side, an optimistic market could be a good opportunity for people looking to buy to invest, or if they want to sell with confidence. And if you're looking to buy property in Thailand, you can go to my website jetgunther.com and we can find you a property that fits your requirements. Now, if it's in Bangkok, I try my best to be in contact with you personally, but I am so swamped with all these inquiries and making these videos. So I also have a team that I work with, and I really think they're one of the best in the country. And we service that in Bangkok and in other major cities like Hua Hin, Pattaya, etc. Okay, so let's get started with the yearly property transactions nationwide from 2018 to 2023. In blue is the number of houses sold, and condos are in red. Now we're going to look at the left side first. You can see that the majority of transactions in Thailand are for houses. And we see that there has been a bit of a dip during the COVID time. That's around 2020 and 2021. And it sprung back in 2022 as the country opened up and people resumed in their confidence in buying. And then it kind of dipped a bit in 2023 as the market kind of normalized itself to pre-COVID levels. And if you look at quarterly property transactions, you zoom in specifically for 2024 here, you see that total transactions, we're looking at the right chart now, and in Q1 2024, that would be the very far right. So in Q1 2024, there's been a total of around 72,900 property transactions nationwide. And you can see that this is a 13% quarter over quarter dip from the previous quarter, and since Q1 2023, property transactions has consecutively decreased. So we do see a softening in terms of property transactions. Now, if we move on to the next slide, this shows yearly property transaction value nationwide in million bahts from 2018 to 2023. So whereas the previous one was the number of properties sold, this is the total property value in million bahts sold. So on the left here, also the same time frame, 2018 to 2023. Now, if I go to the previous one, you'll see that it had a dip in COVID, and then it sprung back in 2022, and then dipped again in 2023. That's the number of properties sold. But if you come to the next slide in terms of transaction value, you actually see a gradual increase. So even though there's less properties sold, total value in the market has increased. So that means overall, the transaction value of, maybe if you average it out, per condo, per property has increased. And if you look at quarterly property transaction value, Q1 2023 to Q1 2024, you see a steady climb as well, but then it dipped in Q1 of this year. So you do see a short-term softening of the market. And then in this next slide, I think this is just a fun reference to look at the top 10 provinces by property transactions in Q1 of 2024. You see that number one is Bangkok, unsurprisingly. And then you see here in terms of the units sold, Bangkok has a market share of 24%, and in terms of value, it has a market share of 38.7%, and it's followed by Chonburi, which is where Pattaya is. That's the second most popular province, followed by Nonthaburi, Samut Prakan, Pathum Thani, which are provinces neighboring Bangkok. And we often group this into the Bangkok metropolitan area. So it's Bangkok and its suburbs, so to speak, followed by Phuket, Chiang Mai, Rayong, Songkhla, and Khon Kaen. If you glance at this table here, I'm not going to go through everything, but at a glance you see more red than green. The only province that's showing an increase is number 6 here, Phuket, where total number of houses, condos has increased. That's in terms of the amount sold, and in terms of value sold, it's gone up as well by 21% in value. So that's the only province that's doing very well during this quarter. The rest are experiencing a dip. I also want to insert here regarding whether you'd get taxed by the Thai government when you bring money into Thailand to buy property. Just a few things to keep in mind. Number one is if you reside in Thailand under 6 months per year, you won't be a Thai tax resident and will not need to worry about any of this. Second of all, the long-term resident visa offers tax exemption on income earned outside of Thailand. Now, how to qualify for this is beyond the purview of this video. You can go to the Board of Investment of Thailand's website to find out. I guess I'll link to it in the video description. All in all, things are not clear yet. This has only been an announcement, and no one's actually been liable for tax yet. It's a wait and see until 2025. Now, some source of funds may be tax exempt, or you may be able to offset your tax liabilities. This is if you are a tax resident of Thailand. Nevertheless, I am not a tax lawyer, so do seek professional advice if this is something that you are really concerned about. All right, back to the video. So this shows that in the short term, in Q1 of 2024, the market is experiencing a dip in demand, but how is it going to be like in the next 3 to 5 years? Well, we don't really know the future and we can't really predict that. But what we can do is we can survey the sentiment and the purchase intention of people in Thailand. And that's exactly what Siam Commercial Bank did by surveying 2,185 Thai respondents between February 14th to March 11th this year about their intentions towards buying property. 55% male, 47% single, 33% married with kids. Most of them are private employees of companies, 12% civil servants, 11% business owners. Age group, mostly Gen X and Gen Y, 15% baby boomers, and 72% of them reside in the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration. In terms of average monthly income, 24% have a monthly income of 50 to 100K baht, 23% have an average income of 30 to 50,000 baht, and so on and so forth. Now, there's a bit of Thai mixed in because I actually took this slide from the original publications here that were published in Thai, and I kind of annotated it and I added my notes in English. So the slide might look a little clunky, but that's because I annotated on top of these. So what the survey shows is that demand in 2024 only slightly improved from 2023, where most who said they plan on purchasing said they're looking to purchase in the next 3 to 5 years, when they expect an improvement in the economy and their purchasing power. So when asked, when do you plan on buying a property in 2023, 50% said they had no plans, or maybe they may buy after the next 5 years. Now in 2024, that number dropped to 44%, and the rest, 9%, say they plan on buying within the year, 17% plan on buying within the next 1 to 2 years, and 30% say they plan on buying within the next 3 to 5 years. So all these slices here have decreased from the previous year, but the slice of people who say they plan on buying in the next 3 to 5 years has increased to 30% from 10%. So less people are saying they don't plan on buying, but among the people that do say they plan on buying, most of them are deferring their plans to the next 3 to 5 years, and they cited that they expect an improvement in the economy and their own purchasing power. Now, within this number surveyed, mid to upper income respondents were the ones who remain the primary buyers for the short term in 2024 to 2026, answering the question, do you plan on buying a home in the next 5 years? It was mostly mid to upper income respondents who said they would buy a property either this year or in the next 1 or 2 years here. These are people, so this gray here is people with income of at least 50,000 baht a month all the way up to above 200,000 baht a month. And also, demand for homes over 3 million baht have increased in line with the increase in the purchase intent of mid to upper income buyers, while demand for homes under 3 million baht have decreased. So if you look at which price segment do you plan on buying in 2023, most people, 48%, say they plan on buying a home that is worth between 1 to 3 million baht. But in 2024, 29% say they would buy a home within 1 to 3 million baht. And then the majority, 33%, said they would buy a home that's priced between 3 to 5 million baht. And then 22% said they'd buy a home that's priced within 5 to 10 million baht. So the higher budget properties are gaining more interest from the people surveyed. And for those who have delayed their purchases, the reasons they had cited are high living costs. Obviously, we're in an inflationary environment. High interest rates, yes, we're in that environment as well. And high property prices. Oh yes, the comment section loves reminding me of this. And then followed by household debt and their own credit limitations. Yeah, actually, that's a big one because I considered buying something and I was looking at, and my reason was credit limitations because the interest rate's way too high, and for me as a business owner, it's very difficult for me to get a mortgage in Thailand. So I just need to be richer in cash. And then demand for single-family homes has increased from the previous year, while less people are preferring condos. So when asked what kind of property are you looking for, in 2024, 67% say they're looking to purchase a single-family home. That number is up from 54% in the previous year. Now, the second most popular type of property is condos, where in 2024, only 15% said they plan on buying a condo, and that number was down from 21% in 2023. Most people are preferring condos as a secondary home for better commuting, while most in this group are looking for 2 bedrooms and 1 bedroom plus units that accommodate family living. So this pie chart here on the left indicates that most people who are planning on buying a condo already own a home and are planning on buying a condo as a second home. Now, what kind of condo do they want? 74%, they say they prefer a high-rise. So that's good to know. So I can feature more high-rise condos on my channel. And then what completion status? 61% say they like a ready-to-move-in property. And that's understandable. On my channel, whenever I feature ready-to-move-in property that's nicely furnished, gets a lot of attention, but it's also the assurance that you can actually touch the property that you're going to buy, that there's assurance that it's going to complete and this is how it's going to look like. That being said, pre-sale off-plan projects do offer you really great pricing because the developers are offering them at bottom prices, and then there's more available units for you to choose from within that condo. When asked what unit type, 38% say they prefer a 2-bedroom and 37% say they prefer a 1-bedroom plus. Usually a 1-bedroom plus means that it has an extra, what do you call it, a multi-function room. So it's great for people who are working from home and they want that room to set up as an office. Some people may want to use it as a reading room or just have a nice room for their pets. And only 17% say they want to buy a 1-bedroom, 4% a studio, and 4% say they want something bigger than a 2-bedroom. Okay, and most people who plan on buying a condo say the layout is the most important factor and are most willing to pay more for the ability to customize their units. Right, now the ability to customize their units is only available for off-plan projects. In the previous slide here, you say that most people prefer a ready-to-move-in condo, but it's already built. Now, in terms of the ability to customize, meaning the actual unit isn't built yet. So you can customize in terms of like, okay, some, not all, may let you open up your living room. Instead of having 2 bedrooms, you choose not to build a wall in the guest bedroom and just have a giant living room. Or let's say, I don't like that island, I want to take the island out, or I want this kind of flooring instead, I want this kind of material instead, etc., within reason. Now, there's structural limitations to a condo, obviously, but when you buy an off-plan condo, to a certain degree, you can customize the condo. And for people who do value that, then maybe they can consider an off-plan condo that hasn't been built yet. And also 45% say they prefer a pet-friendly condo. That's a big trend that's been coming up in the past few years. And unfortunately, most condos in Bangkok are not pet-friendly. I would say only 5%. Now granted, condos at the luxury segment, way more of them will be pet-friendly. And if I ever feature a pet-friendly condo in this channel here, I usually will indicate that yes, this one is pet-friendly, because that's often a selling point of that condo. Okay, this one may seem pretty obvious too, but people are still preferring condos that are close to public transportation, namely the BTS Sukhumvit line, the BTS Silom line, and the MRT Blue line. Okay, this one here. Contrary to what many foreigners believe, most Thai buyers say they would consider secondhand properties as they can offer better pricing and location, though most would prefer it to be no older than 10 years. Now, yeah, this sounds pretty common sense, right? But I don't know why, for some reason, in the comments section or on other forums, for some reason, foreigners have this impression that Thais only just want to buy new condos. They just like the latest and shiny thing that I don't know. They think Thais are so superficial, but in the end, like we're all humans that kind of want the same thing. Like, okay, I can buy secondhand if the price is better. Like, this is quite obvious. Like, I don't mind buying a used car if it's in good condition and the price is good. The other second reason is as secondhand properties can be situated in better locations. That's because, in downtown Sukhumvit here, land is scarce, and oftentimes the best plots of land that are next to like the major intersections or in great neighborhoods, they've already been bought up and developed, right? They've already been developed into condos. And so if you want to live in that neighborhood, in that vicinity, they've all been taken up. So if you really want to live there, you're going to have to look for a secondhand condo. The new ones, you can find new ones that are in really good locations now, and they were just built because I think only recently was that plot of land, the ROI on that plot of land was considered to be worth it, right? Because a plot of land in downtown would be super expensive. So they were just waiting for the right time to do it. So you can find brand new condos that are in great locations as well, though a lot of times secondhand condos are the ones that are in the best locations. Okay, demand for property in other provinces mainly come from non-locals, meaning people who don't reside in that province, who are buying them as a second home, while the vast majority prefer homes over condos. So when asked which province outside of Bangkok do you prefer, the vast majority say Chiang Mai, followed by Chonburi, which is where Pattaya is, followed by Nakhon Ratchasima, that's the province where Khao Yai is, followed by Phuket, Khon Kaen, Chiang Rai, Prachuap Khiri Khan, which is where Hua Hin is, followed by Rayong, Phetchaburi, Surat Thani, and in gold you see that that's people who prefer homes, and purple are people who prefer condos. So you see the vast majority of people prefer homes, which makes sense. When you live in the provinces, you want to live in a low-rise, out in a suburban kind of environment with a lawn, with nature, especially if you're in Chiang Mai. Why would you want to live in a condo when you're in Chiang Mai? It just doesn't fit the vibe. But, you know, that's for most people. And this light purple and this light blue chart here is the split between external demand and local demand. So the takeaway from this is the top 4 provinces are also top tourist provinces. And Chiang Mai is far ahead of the pack despite the recent increase in air pollution in the dry months. Chiang Mai is horrible now around, let's say, February, March, April, May, maybe. Usually 3 months where the north and the surrounding countries burn up their sugarcane crops, and it causes a lot of pollution during that time. Despite this, people still want to live in Chiang Mai because those months are just so darn hot anyway that people stay indoors and run their air conditioners and air purifiers anyway, or it's a time for people to actually travel. That's actually the worst time to be in Thailand, so that's the best time to travel. And so most people will just think of it that way and still choose to live in the north. Phuket moves from 5th to 4th place as the province continues to experience a real estate boom. Most external demand comes from Gen X and baby boomers looking to buy a secondary vacation and retirement home, while Prachuap Khiri Khan and Chonburi also have strong demand for vacation-style condos. What I mean by that, vacation-style condos is often like branded residences that within a compound, and they're technically condos, but they're actually low-rises. An example is like the intercontinental residences in Hua Hin that I toured in a previous video, where there are a bunch of low-rise buildings and you can own them freehold because they're condos, and they're right next to the beach, and it's actually really nice living situation. Okay, moving on. The share of people wanting to buy to invest rose from 11% in 2023 to 15% in 2024, with the most popular property type being condos. And the price segment of the property they want to buy, most of them prefer price segment between 1 to 3 million, followed by 3 to 5 million baht. That's for people who want to buy. That will be the owner. Now, in terms of the other side of things, renters. Most of them are Gen Y and Gen Z, who mainly have a budget of no more than 10,000 baht per month. Gosh, it's gotten a bit dark in here all of a sudden. I think it's because it's getting overcast and it's going to rain. So yeah, the air pollution in the north usually goes away when the rainy season starts, which is around May, and then it becomes very beautiful. And the room type that they're interested in, the most common type is for a 1-bedroom at 42%, and 31% want a 1-bedroom plus. So you can see this is a little bit flipped from the previous slide, where people who want to buy a condo, most of them prefer larger units, because I think at that point they're going to cost a lot in terms of rent, so you may as well just buy it, and you do tie up your money. But when you sell it, there is a chance of getting your money back or making more. Instead of each month you just blow it away on a large unit. But on the other hand, for people who just want to rent, they just want to rent a small room to just get it over with. They don't want to pay too much in rent, which is understandable from both ends. Okay, so most people who chose to rent do so to have closer proximity to their workplaces and schools. This is pretty obvious, but for people looking to buy, to invest in, and to rent out, these are things to keep in mind in terms of what the tenant is looking for. Okay, the other second reason is people rent because they can't afford to buy. Yeah, okay, sure. A third reason is they're not certain of the neighborhood that they want to live in yet, which is very valid. They might be new to Bangkok, and they may want to experience living in various neighborhoods before deciding which neighborhood they want to settle down in. And another one is the desire to have close proximity to public transportation, followed by not confident in their ability to service their mortgage. It's a daunting one, especially in this high interest rate environment. Okay, so more renters see themselves renting only for the short term, as they hope they will be able to buy a property after 5 years. So it seems like a lot of renters here are optimistic that they're only renting for the short term and they want to buy something later. So if you see here, the timeline of renting for the short term here, 1 to 2 years, has decreased from 32% to 20%. That's the steepest decrease from 2023 in gold to 2024 in purple. And when asked, do you plan on buying after 5 years, 82% say yes, that they are optimistic of their capabilities of buying, or at least they do aspire to buy and they'll try to make it work within 5 years. And in addition to the main train lines, renters are also interested in the new yellow line to the east that connects with the Lat Phrao MRT station and runs along Lat Phrao Road, which I'm so glad that they finally built a BTS there, because it's one of the worst. I don't want to go there. And then it runs down to Sinakarin, which is one of the worst roads as well. So I'm very glad that the people that are in that area are able to commute into town using the BTS now. And that is also why people don't mind having a condo in that area. So maybe it's going to be cheaper because it's out in the suburbs, but at least there's also access to public transportation that can take them into downtown. Okay, so I know that was a lot, so I'm just going to restate the results of this survey here. So demand slightly improved from 2023, with many planning to purchase in the next 3 to 5 years as they anticipate economic improvement and an increase in their own purchasing power. And buyers with incomes over 50,000 baht a month remain the primary buyers for 2024 to 2026, focusing on properties over 3 million baht, while demand for homes under 3 million baht decreases. Increasing preference for condos as secondary homes, with a focus on 2 bedrooms and 1 bedroom plus units for family living. With proximity to public transportation, and potential condo buyers prioritize layout and are willing to pay more for customization options. And secondhand properties under 10 years old are also considered for better pricing and for better location. And investment interest rose from 11% to 15%, with condos as the preferred type. And most renters are Gen Y and Gen Z, looking for condos under 10,000 baht a month that are close to workplaces and schools. Thank you so much for SEB and the Real Estate Information Center for creating this. And if you're looking for property in Thailand, you can see the link in the video description or go to my website, jetgunther.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best in your real estate journey.